after going through the season that we had last year, and Myles had a really good season, but he left a lot of meat on the bone, and he himself said that, hey, I can do better. So I know Myles is a prideful man, and he works extremely hard, and I know he's going to go out here and put his best foot forward and go out and dominate like he usually does. So yeah, do I expect our best players to play their best for us? Absolutely. And if he happens to have the best year of his life, the best season of his life, then next year I'm going to want even more. So it's about him coming out every day, working to get better, working with the guys every day, and helping them get better. And I think we'll be fine.
What are your impressions on Mason's ground?
I love Mason. The thing I love about Mason, right? I think everybody, heard, he ate a little bit too much and he threw up that first day. But what a lot of people are not talking about is that the kid finished. Okay, he went back out there, puke it all and finished the rep. But here's a kid that every day he got better. Every day he came out here, he's running to the ball as fast as he could. You see his rush game developing. You see him launching with hands. It's going to be hard, obviously coming from a read scheme, going to an attack scheme. But he's done a really good job, and he's great in the room. Extremely smart individual, hardworking. So I can't wait to see him come out and play.
Yeah. What part of the draft process did you learn the most about Mason Graham? Was it at the combine or the visit here?
Well, I usually start watching these guys like the year prior. And I remember telling our guys, there's a kid at Michigan right now that guy can move, and he has a lot of rush moves and he has strong hands. And you got to take a look at him. And then our guys were already on it. They're like, yeah, we know. And as you start watching tape, you just start, really liking a guy more and more, and just start fitting the pieces together. Like, oh man, if he was on this side playing with this guy, imagine what he could do. So it was nice that our whole process here for picking players, I love it because you actually have a say in things, and AB does a great job. All the scouts do a great job. So the more and more I just started watching, the more and more I just felt like, hey man, like this kid is going to be perfect for what we do. And so here we are right now. I'm excited.
You didn't meet him until when?
Well, I met him at the 30 visit, but those are really short, and really you start zooming with guys and talking with guys and things like that. But no matter what, you can do that, and I've done that with a lot of players over the years. No matter what, it doesn't really count for me until they step in that building. When they step in that building, you get to see their habits every day. Right, who this person is. Is he a guy that comes in early? Yes. Is he a guy that hits the field early? Yes. Is he a guy that wants to work after practice? Yes. So then that's when you start realizing, like, man, this guy, not only is he a really, really good player, but he's probably one of the hardest working guys that we got. So that's a good little recipe for success in the NFL.
Along the lines of...
Is that how when you have a guy like a read scheme like he was in Michigan coming to an attack scheme here, is that those traits how you were able to kind of project how he'll fare going from one scheme to the other?
That's a great question, okay? Because there's not a lot of attack teams in college football. But when you see a guy start penetrating and he's in a read scheme, right, and he's penetrating the line of scrimmage, I'm not talking about 1 yard, I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 yards in the backfield, getting tackle for losses, or setting other people up to make plays, that's when you're like, okay, this kid can do what we're going to ask him to do. So a lot of people, you get into these discussions with people about, penetration or disruption, which one you like more. I like them both, but you have to have certain traits in order to penetrate, right? You got to have, good quick twitch. You got to have a great get off. You got to be strong, and low center of gravity. And you don't need a big 360, 370 pound man to penetrate. You just need a guy that's about 290, 300, and just wants to go.
Along the lines of his fit, there's been so much made the last couple of years of like having Myles Garrett kind of having like a sidekick on the other side of the defensive line, or the defensive end spot with like Cesaire. But is it almost more beneficial to Myles to have somebody like Mason who's next to him and kind of work on the same side of the field essentially?
Yeah, I mean, I always talk about 4 equals 1, right? We need four rushers working together at all times. So So it's not just about Myles and a sidekick or Myles and somebody else on the other side of him. It's just 4 guys working together to rush the quarterback. That has to be coordinated, and everybody has to have some kind of rush ability. If you only have one guy with rush ability out there, then that guy's gonna have a freaking long day, and the rest of those guys are gonna be stuck on a line of scrimmage. So everybody has to pitch in on the rush. Having any type of penetrating defensive tackle in an attack scheme, rushing the quarterback, is always good. Because the quarterback can't step up if the pocket's getting collapsed. If the pocket's getting squeezed, you know what Myles gonna do. Right? So if the pocket's getting collapsed by, it could be Mason, it could be Malik Collins, it could be Sam Kamara, it could be Jawan Briggs, whoever it is, if they're collapsing the pocket and we got the ends coming around on the edge, it's a beautiful thing.
Jacques, after change, Mason said when we talked to him during week that it would be like taking the cuffs off him to go from read to attack.
Right.
What does that mean?
Well, most defensive schemes, they're asking their defensive line to hold blocks up, right? Take on double teams, hold blocks up, so the linebackers can be free and go make money, right? And I'm just like, huh? I want my guys to be the first on the scene. I want my guys to be the penetrators, the disruptors, and them to make the plays and them to make the money. Okay, so when you're talking about read scheme, a lot of that is staying on the line of scrimmage, right? Holding up blocks for guys, holding up double teams and things like that. When you're talking about attack, we don't take on double teams. Our linebackers are coming downhill. They're the ones that are cleaning things up for us, not the other way around. So we put a big emphasis on the front. You got to have guys that want to go out there and make plays. We take the handcuffs off, meaning that I'm not going to tell a guy, hey, you got to worry about this block and this block and this block. I'm going to tell a guy, I want you to get off the ball as fast as you can, okay, with speed, violence, and precision, okay, and go make plays. Go make plays. We want to give you money. Okay. In order to do that, you got to go make plays.
John,
We got time for one more.
Obviously, we know, Myles makes that trade request, then signs the contract. When he comes back, does it feel like he's all the way back in now?
Yeah, I don't even remember that. Okay. All right. That's the first thing. Secondly, every player is entitled to their own opinion. If that's how he felt at the time, that's how he felt. People can change their minds. Okay. And obviously, he's here now. He's happy. He's engaged with the guys. He was working his butt off yesterday. So Myles is here. He's all the way bought in. He loves what we've done with the defensive line, and I know he can't wait to get the season started.
I wanted to ask about Alex, because losing him last year and how he's worked coming back from that tricep, and it seems like he's come in with a whole new mentality and changed his body composition a little bit. What have you seen from him so far?
Yeah, just the same thing. I mean, he's just a tough, physical defensive end that knows how to rush the passer with physicality, and I just like how he sets the edge. He has some position flex where he can play inside and give us a good rush, play outside and give us a good rush. And the guy's just a hard worker, just another hungry, fast, physical guy that we need on this defensive line.
What do you think his ceiling could be with this team?
I believe everybody's ceiling is limitless. If you're willing to put in the work, grind it out, run as much as you can, and you believe in yourself, anything is possible.